Well, we'll be playing indoors pretty much all weekend. They love to tailgate outside here in Milwaukee, and we are inside Miller Park. It is game 2 of a 4-game series. The Cubs shutting out the Brewers in game 1 last night to get back to the 500 mark to start the season. Great to have you with us for Cubs baseball here on NBC Sports Chicago. Jim DeShays and Len Casper. I don't know if trends are starting to develop. We've only seen the Cubs play 6 games, but when they win, they score a lot. When they lose, they don't.
I guess Joe Madden would say he's looking for a little more consistency, but it's been pretty stark, the difference with the Cubs this year in their wins. They're batting .297. They're averaging almost 9 runs per game, OPS up over 900. Been shut out a couple of times, had another 1-run loss. So just looking for a measure of consistency. They played a great game across the board last night.
Kyle Hendricks will get his second start of the season. He went 6 innings in a game that ended up going, 11 more innings his first time out.
Yeah, no decision for Kyle against the Marlins, second game of the season. Here are the numbers in Miami: 6 innings, just 4 hits, 1 run allowed. Been really good in his career against the Brewers, especially here at Miller Park. We're going to look at young right-hander Brandon Woodruff. We saw him last year. Contrasting styles, Hendricks the finesse guy. Woodruff averages better than 95 miles per hour with his fastball.
So Hendricks against Woodruff, and the Cubs bats were out big time last night in an 8-0 blanking of the Brewers. We'll get an injury update from the manager when we come back.
By Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Ford, who invites you to go further in their fuel-efficient vehicles. Check out our entire lineup at your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Menards, save big money at Menards. And by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
Welcome back to Milwaukee, game 2 of 4. Cubs come in at 3-3 on the year. Anthony Rizzo was in the original starting lineup, but scratched a couple of hours ago with some tightness in his back. It's an issue that will flare up on occasion. Let's hear from his manager, Joe Madden.
No, it's just that tightness, back tightness, and did a lot of extra hitting yesterday. That might have brought it on a little bit, but it's definitely a day-to-day kind of a thing. We've been here in the past with him, so I'm not overtly concerned. So definitely today's possible, tomorrow too.
Brewers placed their closer Corey Knebel on the DL with a strained hamstring, and Cub fans galore here in Milwaukee, hoping their team could make it 2 in a row. We'll have the first pitch from Miller Park next.
Albert Almora Jr. going to first to third there on a fairly routine base hit to left field. The throw came into third by Braun. That allowed Russell, the back runner, to move into scoring position. Javi Baez with a little more magic, this time on the base pass, as he goes from first to home on a ball nudged up the middle by John Lester. And Wilson Contreras would talk a lot about his athleticism of well above average speed for a catcher.
Been a little weird here the last couple of years. The road team has kind of dominated. Cubs have won 8 of their last 11 in this ballpark. The Brewers 6 of their last 9 at Wrigley Field. Let's check out the updated Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Ben Zobrist in the leadoff spot. Chris Bryant picked up career hits 500 and 501 last night. Schwarber bats third with no Rizzo tonight. Contreras, Russell, Victor Caratini, who had his first Major League home run in this ballpark, playing first base last year. Hayward homered last night. Baez had the big game, and Hendricks, the pitcher, will bat 9th.
Let's check in with the Brewers defensively this evening. Ryan Braun is in left field. Lorenzo Cain plays center. Domingo Santana is the right fielder. Shaw Arcia on the left side of the infield. VR Thames second first. Manny Pena is behind the plate. And the Lexus Experience amazing starting pitcher for Milwaukee tonight. It's the bearded one, Brandon Woodruff. Big fella, 6'4", 230, 25 years of age. He's worked a couple times out of the bullpen. This will be his first start this year. He made 8 starts for Milwaukee last year, considered one of their top pitching prospects.
Chad Whitson back at the plate. And as you look around the bases, Conroy, Culbreth, and Onora.
Woodruff sit pretty comfortably right around 95, 96 miles per hour. Pretty good sink on his two-seam fastball. Still throws a slider and a changeup.
Zobrist to start it. And ball one. The leadoff man is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot, and if Zobrist gets a hit here, Binny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository.
Now Zobrist is off to a great start, aiming for average, taking his walks. Last night he had a couple of hits plus a couple of lineouts, as you see the pull shift being deployed here by the Brewers.
64 degrees once again indoors tonight. 30 outside. 2-1 on Zobrist.
30, it must have really warmed up.
Woodruff on a 2-1, and it's down and out of the zone. 3 balls and a strike.
That's a well executed changeup right there, and it's going to get a chase from a lot of guys, but Zobrist is more patient than most.
Bounce to the first baseman, Thames. He'll take it to the bag for out number 1. And it'll bring up Chris Bryant. Off to a terrific start. Brewers will shift to the left on the infield against a pull hitting Bryant, at least on the ground. Okay. I'm guessing it wasn't framed very well.
Yeah, he had to. Pena had to reach a little bit. Set up looked like you set up on the inside part of the plate, but
how does that not get called a strike?
that's right there in the Whoopi Goldberg square.
Fouled back.
Another one.
1-1. Here's the first pitch of the sequence. Yeah. Oh, that glove moves, and the umpire can get fooled. Woodruff is from Wheeler, Mississippi. 11th round pick out of Mississippi State. 2014 is that ball's hooked foul. 1-2. So he's their #1 prospect according to Baseball America, but he started the year in the big league, so he's really not a prospect anymore. He's just a big leaguer. And I don't mean just a big leaguer, but you'd rather be a major leaguer than a prospect, I guess.
Rather be a hammer than a nail. Yes, sir. Brought the glove and made a play.
Don't leave her hanging.
Come on, come on,
come on.
Come on.
There
Give
you
me
go.
5.
Into his wind, and another 1-2 outside for a ball.
Woodruff pitched 8 times, made 8 starts for Milwaukee last year at the big league level. 43 innings at a 4.81 ERA. Left-handed hitters hit 345 against him. Righties just 171.
Good at bat for Bryant.
A lot of clubs. Brewers trying to work him hard in, tie him up. Try a slide ball here.
In the air, deep left center. Braun on the move. He's got it right up against the padding of the wall. As you could see him mouthing the word, that was close.
Maybe just a little bit towards the end of the bat. Yeah, but good extension again from Bryant, who worked a very good at bat there. It's good work. Ultimately has a good swing. Hits it hard. Just a little bit shy of flying out of here. A golf clap from the guys in the bullpen.
2 outs. Here's Kyle Schwarber playing left. First pitch is a strike. So I mentioned Woodruff, an 11th round pick out of college. He was a 5th round pick out of high school but didn't sign. That's kind of odd. He would go down 9 rounds by going to college. Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah, I went down 9 rounds, as a matter of fact.
You did.
Yeah.
That's right.
College has a way sometimes of changing the program a little bit.
I guess so. Did you have regrets about not signing out of high school?
No, I probably would have played a year or 2 professionally and been released. I don't think I was mature enough. I don't know. It'd be fun to go back in the time machine and see. I know, because you turn down that $2,000 bonus, you know, you tend to regret it.
I'm guessing in Woodruff's case it was a little more than that.
Yeah. Would have bought a lot of Bitcoin if it existed back in 1978.
Full count on Schwarber. Contreras on deck.
Schwarber, like Zobrist, doing a nice job laying off that chase changeup. Oh, that's good. Good work.
So Schwarber is a Cubs first base runner. And here is Contreras, who had a 3-hit night, added a walk, but the ball he hit the best was the out.
Yeah, he
track fly.
Deep fly ball to straightaway center field on a fastball. That was, man, it was like armpit high, and he was able to get the barrel on it and got underneath it a little bit, but it was an impressive swing of the bat. He was on it all night long last night. Really looked good.
Swing and a miss. I'd like to welcome all our viewers watching the Cubs on NBC Sports Chicago Plus, on Rhinebeck Telecommunications Utility in Rhinebeck, Iowa. I think I said 9 rounds because I had 14 on the brain. 2014. He went down 6 rounds, 5th to 11th, from high school to college. And I did go to college, even though I can't do any math. 1-1 on Contreras. First inning just underway. 2-out base runner on a walk to Schwarber. Just got a piece of it. They put their closer Corey Knebel on the DL. They're calling it a strained left hamstring, and initially thinking 6 to 8 weeks. Right-hander Adam Hauser has been recalled from Double-A Biloxi, and they'll mix and match in the 9th inning while Knebel is out.
So early observations here on Woodruff, and it's too early to really make any strong conclusion. Looks like with a left-handed hitter, when he tries to go away, he's pretty good at commanding the ball. When he's trying to go away to the right-handed hitters, he's leaving a lot of fastballs over the heart of the plate. So far, he's gotten away with it.
Long pause at the set. Now a 1-2 and a ground ball toward right, and then a squeak pass VR. Here comes the throw to third. It's cut off. Throw back to first. Close. But Contreras just able to get his hand in.
Well, good bit of hitting here by Contreras. The slider's out away from him. He just pokes it into right field. Svelte Schwarber hustles into third. Chance to draw first blood. Brewers reviewing the video. Contemplating a challenge. They will not.
It's Addison Russell, 2 hits, knocked in a run last night. Cubs trying to draw first blood. Cross that cliche off the list. I don't think we had used it in the first week. Contreras has a big lead. He was out there even farther the first time when Woodruff threw over. Ball 1. Our starters have struggled here in the early going.
Russell had a single and a double last night. He's banged out 14 hits.
Brewers rotation with a 6.23 earned run average. Their bullpen 2.01. It's only 7 games in.
A big part of their success last year was the work of the rotation. Not that they were great, but they were solid, and they were, I think, a lot better than most people expected them to be.
There's Derek Johnson, who had spent some time in the Cubs system as their minor league pitching coordinator and a pitching coach with the Brewers. Two 1 to Russell, and he was late on 97.
Just didn't get that front foot down in time.
Cubs making Woodruff work here in the opening inning, nearing 30 pitches so far. And it's 2-2 to Russell. Base hit to right. Cubs have the lead. Schwarber scores. Contreras safe at third. An accurate throw by Santana probably gets Contreras, but it was off the mark. So all this happening with 2 outs, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, I guess 5 batters into this game, you just have to love the approach of the Cub hitters. It has been rock solid. Russell, like Contreras, goes the other way. They've been forcing Woodruff into the zone. They're not chasing those chase changeups or sliders off the plate. Perhaps one, and Contreras chased a slider first pitch of his at bat, but they're really doing a nice job here, putting a lot of pressure on this young right-hander. And yeah, I think the play there is for Wilson to stop at second base. He got away with it. With 2 outs in the inning, you don't need to be that aggressive.
So an early visit by the pitching coach. And the batter is Victor Caratini. He gets the start for Rizzo.
And hit for a lot of power, as you see. 10 home runs last year, but 393 on base, 342 batting average. Switch hitter, better from this side, but good from both.
And his foul just behind home plate. It was July 30th last year. He started on a Sunday afternoon in Rizzo's stead. And He hit his first major league home run off Zach Davies. That was a game-winning home run, no less, in the 7th inning. And at the moment, it's his only major league home run. Oh, 0-2.
Back-to-back changeups. After the visit with the pitching coach, a little change in the approach.
Contreras now the runner at third. Russell is at first. Two-strike swing, and Victor fouls it off. Beat out Chris Jimenez out of spring training to be the backup. The backup catcher, that is, but he's playing first base tonight. Started his pro career as an infielder. That will get down for a base hit on a broken bat flare. Contreras is in. Russell to third. It's 2-0. First hit of the year for Caratini, and he knocks in a run.
Nothing wrong with a little good luck to go along with all the good work the Cub hitters have done in this inning. Shattered bat, but good enough to plate Contreras. I love those first inning crooked numbers. It all started with a 2-out, nobody on walk worked by Kyle Schwarber.
0-1 to Hayward. 9th inning. Homered off Knebel before he injured his hamstring. And it was on the 8th anniversary of his major league debut. That's a strike. It's going to be a short night probably for Woodruff, having a big chunk of his pitch count taken out here in the first inning. Here comes his 1-1 ground ball right to the second baseman VR. Cubs rally with 2 outs, a walk, 3 straight hits. It's the Cubs 2, the Brewers coming up. Here's the Brewers Southwest starting lineup. I was trying to do kind of a Vince Scully doing. Yeah. Kane, Thames, and Braun at the top. Shaw, Santana, and Pena in the middle. Notice no Christian Yelich dealing with the oblique. VR, Arcia, and Woodruff at the bottom.
Cubs defensively. Kyle Schwarber back out in left field tonight. Jason Hayward's going to slide over and play center. Ben Zobrist is the right fielder this evening. Bryant, Russell, Baez, Caratini in for Anthony. He made 3 starts at first base last year. He's made 70+ starts as a minor leaguer at first base. Contreras behind the plate. Lexus experienced amazing starting pitcher is that man, the professor, Kyle Hendricks. (15 starts against Milwaukee in his career, 6-4 with a 2.77 ERA. Here in this ballpark, he's 4-1 with a 2.31. He's made 8 starts here.
Kane began the year 9 for his first 16. He's gone nothing for 13 since, as he dribbles a chopper to third, and he's out. Bryant to Caratini, 1 away.
Hendricks gets the fastball in on the hands of Kane, induces the weak contact. But he does so well. Numbers. Good good against the Brewers and really good here in their ballpark. He's made more starts here than any other road stadium.
Eric Thames fouls back to the screen. Hit .320 against the Cubs last year. Got off to a great start in the Brewer uniform.
.11 home runs in April. He had 20 by the end of June.
Got a 3-year deal following 3 seasons in Korea, and he just tore up that league's pitching. He became the first 40-40 player in the history of the Korea Baseball Organization. Ball and 2 strikes on him. Called strike 3. He's out.
Ames incredulous, thought this ball was high. It's top of the zone, a little two-seamer, works his way back to the plate. Travis Shaw was ejected from the ball game last night by home plate umpire Brian O'Nora. The Brewers were taking some issues with O'Nora's strike zone. John Lester struck out 6 in his 6 innings of work, and the last 4 were looking.
Ryan Braun takes outside for a ball. And for 3 last night. Walk, double, stolen base, and then caught stealing. Tried the sneak attack against John Lester. It worked once, but not twice.
Yeah, and the attempted steal of third came with the 2 outs. He was already in scoring position.
He breaks his bat on a roller to Bryant. And Kyle Hendricks with trouble in the opening inning. 2-0 Cubs after 1. True moment later in tonight's game. To grab a coffee late this morning, and felt like a blizzard in downtown Milwaukee.
Yeah, snow was blowing sideways for a while.
No worries, we're inside. As Javier Baez will lead off the Cubs' second. Huge game last night. 1 for 1, game-winning 2-run single, 3 walks, hit by a pitch, scored twice. He did it all. One ball, no strikes. Woodruff home. Foul territory and out of play.
Goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. Woodruff would love to have not only a scoreless inning, but a quick, efficient inning here.
35 pitches in the first. Kyle Hendricks, who's on deck, only needed 10.
Killing him in time of possession.
Swing and a miss. 1-2. Cubs are the only team in baseball that has not played a game at home. And the Rockies and the Indians opening their home schedules today. I think the game time temperature in Denver was under 30. Is that possible?
Absolutely is possible.
Cleveland won, beating Kansas City. Rockies lost to the Braves.
8-3, and the Braves are averaging 8 runs per game. They're off to a great start.
Call strike 3 to get Baez.
Everybody is in. Rizzo, Bryant, Hobby. Well, Hobby's out, but he's in as well. Kyle and the rest of the boys are ready for another shot at October Glory. Be part of it all season long at Wrigley Field, starting with opening day. A limited number of tickets are available for the home opener this Monday. Act quickly before they're gone. Cubs.com.
It's 27 degrees at game time this afternoon at Coors Field.
That'll test your mettle.
1-1 on Hendricks.
Now the thinking is that hitters hate hitting in the cold, and that pitchers really relish the cold weather. But when it gets that cold, not good for anybody.
Everybody hates it. 1-2.
A little wide.
Went 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts in his first start. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back Ks for Woodruff. Back to the top, and Ben Zobrist, he grounded out to start the ball game. They're in a delay in Texas. Blue Jays and Rangers. Already postponed in San Francisco. The Dodgers and Giants will not play. Two 2-0 on Zoe. Spring training, we were looking at the roster and trying to figure out how Joe would allot playing time. Things tend to work themselves out, and Zobrist, for instance, is working his way into the lineup because he's had just great at bats.
Yeah, that's manager. You got to be careful not to get too scripted in your approach. He and Happ had a great spring training, and Joe was, obviously enamored with the work Ian was doing. Put him in the leadoff spot opening day. Hit that home run on the very first pitch. Since then, it's been a bit of a struggle. Zobrist has been hot, so you kind of juggle things up a little bit.
Zobrist 3-0 swing. As he fouled it off. Now 3 balls and a strike. And here it comes. He walked him. Well, this is how the first inning rally started. A 2-out walk to Schwarber.
Yeah, I think Woodruff would benefit from being a little bit more aggressive, throwing that 2-seamer over the plate. He's trying to pick away at that outside corner against these left-handed hitters. Obviously, there are certain situations where you're going to be more cautious than others, but throwing 96, 97 with pretty good action on that 2-seamer. If you could just throw that over the plate down around the knees, he's going to get some quick outs on the ground, I would think. It's to me like he's pitching away from contact.
Cubs have had a base runner in every inning so far in the series as Bryant rolls to third. Long throw by Shaw. It's on the money, and that's it for the Cubs. They strand 1. They lead 2-0 early on. Base, and their teammates grab their glove and hat.
Yeah, Jason Hayward had obviously thought he had Zobrist's gear. Apparently he did not. He had Schwarber's.
Schwarber's probably in the dugout saying,
scrambling out. Where's my stuff? Yeah.
Strike 1 on Travis Shaw. 2-zip Cubs, second inning. in the dirt that time. Shaw went 0 for 3 in the opener before he was ejected. He snapped his 6-game hitting streak to start the year. Son of former big league closer Jeff Shaw. Swing and a miss on the changeup.
Kyle dialed in here right from the get-go, really executing his game plan. His changeup fading away or fastball on the hands. He's been able to make his pitch. Start against Miami, he only threw one curveball. I asked him about it the other day. He said, yeah, the game plan just didn't really call for it. I'll probably throw a few more in the Milwaukee game.
Off the end of the bat, here comes Hayward, and he makes the grab. Our high-speed action is powered by Xfinity.
Second start of the year for John Lester, and it was a dandy. 6 scoreless, had everything working, picking away at that outside corner with his fastball. I mentioned punched out 6. And banging away out there at the edge. 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and a W.
Yep, vintage John Lester. A lot of first pitch strikes. Line shot. And it's down for a hit. Santana's aboard. Guessing there was some major exit velocity on that one.
That ball fairly well scalded. Santana came into that plate appearance 0 for 11 against Kyle with 8 strikeouts.
Chance with Carlos Subero, their first base coach. He's rocking some pretty cool hair. Manny Pena, the catcher.
Yeah, it's good lettuce.
Pena played first base for 1 pitch last night in the 9th inning after Knebel got hurt and forced Hernan Perez to pitch. So Pena came in and played first base for the first time in his pro career. Pop up, foul ground. Contreras has it. 2 down.
Talked a lot about Kyle the last couple of years. Again, how he is a master of inducing weak contact, and we've seen it 3 times already here tonight. Fastballs in on the hands, weak ground ball from Kane, broken bat, weak ground ball from Braun, and now the pop up in foul territory, getting the ball in on the hands of Manny Pena. He has such a good changeup. The hitters tell themselves, stay back, have to respect that off speed pitch, and they're just not quick enough to get to the fastball in.
VR in the air to left. Back on it is Kyle Schwarber, circling, and he one-hands it to end the inning. 2-0 Cubs as we head to the 3rd inning. Chicago with the season winding down. The Bulls return home to take on the Brooklyn Nets. Coverage starts at 6:30 with Bulls pregame live, or stream the game live on the NBC Sports app. Nothing Cubs. 3rd inning. Kyle Schwarber looks at ball 1. He walked with 2 outs in the first, and that led ultimately to a 2-run inning. Well, JD, that would be such a good look for you.
Sure. Yep.
Either
one of those looks.
I'm going to sit behind that gentleman, but. One and 1 the count. Woodruff on a 1-1 swing and a miss. Pirates lead the division 5-1 to start the year, and they've got a 4-2 lead over the Reds in the 5th. We'll see the Pirates on Monday, the Wrigley Field home opener. 2-2. Shy of a sellout tonight, but a much bigger crowd than we had last night.
You come up with your number yet?
I'm going to say maybe around 35,000. What do you think? Called strike 3.
Yeah, I think a little more than that. I'm going to go higher.
Okay, you're taking the over.
Higher, higher.
Who's hot? Well, the Red Sox have won 6 straight after losing their opener. The Astros off to a very good start. The Diamondbacks leading the National League West. On the flip side, the Rays have dropped 6 in a row. Padres 1-6. All those games have been at home, and the Dodgers already rained out tonight in San Francisco. Have lost 5 of their first 7. Padres are in Houston tonight, and they've got a 1-0 lead in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, and the Dodgers, probably their biggest concern is Kenley Jansen. Their normally bulletproof closer has been vulnerable here in the early going. Apparently his velocity is down a little bit.
One on Contreras. Swing and a miss.
Walker seems to be figuring things out.
Woodruff played 3 sports in high school: baseball, basketball, and football. Put together 6'4", 215, as Contreras just got hit.
After the slider away, he tries to jam him with a fastball up and in, and Contreras gets a free base. You see the run on the 2-seam fastball. It was a good idea, just didn't execute the pitch.
That's the 8th Cub batter to get hit. Now tied for the major league lead with the White Sox. So with a foul strike. You mentioned Woodruff made his debut last year. He won that debut at Tampa Bay in August, but it came almost 2 months after he had originally been scheduled to pitch in St. Louis. He was warming up, scratched with a hamstring issue, and ended up on the DL. They had some weird pitching injuries last year, didn't they? The one I just mentioned, their opening day starter, Junior Guerra, injured himself running to first on opening day on a bunt play. 0-2 on Russell. I think Chase Anderson got injured on a bunt. Jimmy Nelson diving into first on a pickoff throw.
That was against the Cubs. Jimmy Nelson had surgery, is still out of action. What are they saying? Late May, June?
Maybe into June. Two-strike pitch is low. They are making him work. in the third inning. He's recorded 7 outs, and this will be his 65th pitch.
It's such a challenging lineup to pitch against because there's power throughout the batting order. Other lineups that get fairly soft when you get into the bottom third of the order, to the point where as a pitcher you feel pretty comfortable being really aggressive. Yeah, just throw it in there, let him put it in play, try to get some quick outs. Well, you do that against the likes of Russell and Baez, and you're likely to hit one over the wall on you.
Ooh, 3-2.
Just got squeezed. Chad Whitson is the home plate umpire. He does not have a lot of big league time, and he's not been really consistent back there tonight.
Contreras on the move, and a fly ball out of the deep left center. Braun is back at the wall, and he'll make the catch. And Contreras, who had gotten all the way to second, will retreat to first. So Bryant and now Russell just missing home runs.
Addison Russell has very strong hands and wrists, and he's off balance when he hits this ball. Still almost knocks it out of here. Braun measuring his steps, ready to make the leap at the wall. Didn't have to. Contreras had actually rounded second base, but wise enough to retouch on his way back to first.
Caratini with an RBI single in the first inning. That gets away, and Contreras will head to second.
That'll be a WP on your score sheet.
So an RBI chance here again for Caratini. Way out in front. 1 ball and 1 strike. It's a 19-game season series. 4 here to start that season set. Brewers will come to Chicago 4 games at the end of this month. And Thursday through Sunday. One and two. Nice to be home for a long stretch. 3 against the Pirates, 3 versus Atlanta, and then the Cardinals come in.
Woodruff getting very comfortable with his changeup as this game goes along.
Finally is 1-2.
Yeah, I don't look like Victor was asking for time there before the home plate umpire would grant it. Woodruff finally started his delivery home. Caratini, a slasher, doesn't hit for a lot of power, as I mentioned last time. More of a line drive, alley to alley type hitter.
Kick and a 2-2 pitch is off the inside. It's full with Hayward on deck.
This is a situation where as a hitter you kind of step out, take a little time, go through your scouting report on the pitcher. What's he like to do? 3-2 counts. Is he likely to challenge me? Is he willing to throw his secondary pitches in this situation? He's got a base open. Just can't talk yourself into getting a fastball in a situation like this. Most good hitters tell you they look middle away, they look away, react in, trust their quick hands.
That'll go foul to third, and we'll do it again.
The other piece of it for any hitter, and maybe more so for a young guy like Caratini, who's trying to establish himself at the big league level, is to be patient in this situation. He's already driven in one here tonight, has an opportunity to drive in another. You have to make sure you get a pitch you can handle.
So the second mound visit for Milwaukee. This time it's the catcher Pena. And now time called. 2 in the first. Cubs trying to get another 2-out run here in the third inning. And another 3-2 pitch. And Caratini just able to stay alive.
Well, a good changeup. He was out on the front foot, but the hand stayed back long enough. Pretty level path through the zone. Caratini stays in the zone a good while. Allows him to stay competitive on a tough off-speed pitch like that.
Just wide of third.
.75 pitches.
Really grinding out these at bats.
Greg Maddux would be in the 8th inning.
Payoff yet again. Ground ball back to the mound. Cubs don't score, made them work. They get through that inning. 2-0 in the third. Say, show me the Chicago Cubs into your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with the Xfinity X1. Cubs lead this one 2-0. Milwaukee hasn't scored in a while. Back-to-back shutouts. And the last time they were blanked in 3 consecutive games, you have to go back to 1972. And a strike on the shortstop, Orlando Arcia. That 1972 Brewer Ball Club finished 6th in the American League East.
6 out of 6.
Dave Bristol, Roy McMillan, and Del Crandall managed the club. Yeah, Bob Uecker was there, calling the games on the radio. That ball to second, and Baez can't make the play. Arcia is aboard.
More soft contact induced by Hendricks, reaching for a pitch out away from him. Just a little slow roller to second base. Baez has to charge aggressively with Arcia going down the line. perhaps was contemplating a little glove and flip with the glove.
So an error to start the inning. Throw to first. A little late. Woodruff can hit. He hasn't done it a lot at this level. 2 for 10, but in the minor leagues, a .225 career hitter, left-handed swinger. So he is not just an automatic out.
See, that's my theory. If a guy throws with one hand and swings from the other side, he's probably a pretty good hitter, pretty good athlete. Baez was charged with an error in the Miami series in a ball very similar to that one Justin Bour hit, and then it was after the fact changed to a hit. Could argue that would have been a base hit as well with Arcia running. Not an easy play at all.
Bunted foul, 2 strikes. One and two.
Well, left side of the infield pretty wide open there for Woodruff if he opts to pull a bat back in swing with Bryant crashing and Addison Russell pretty much hovering at second base. He had a lot of room to operate on the left side of the infield. Brooks has one of the better pickoff moves in the game.
Still 1 and 2. I think we had the note his first start. He had 7 pickoffs last year. Only Clayton Richard, the left-hander, had more among all big league pitchers. One and two. And Woodruff hanging in. Cubs lead 2-0. Brewers have a man on, nobody out in the 3rd inning. Woodruff gets down the bunt. That'll be a successful sacrifice, 1-3. This is the 101st career start for Kyle Hendricks. Among active pitchers with 100 starts, only All-World Clayton Kershaw has a better earned run average.
Yeah, so obviously different ways to get it done, right? You think about Kershaw, DeGrom, Sale, Bumgarner. You think about the stuff with Hendricks. It's the pitching acumen, the touch that he has out there. It's kind of like the Zach Johnson on the PGA Tour. Not a long hitter, but great iron player.
I will trust your analogy.
It's Mark Leishman.
Kane trying to break out of an 0 for 14 rut. Rounded to 3rd in the 1st inning. And that was after a very hot start. Runner at second is Arcia. He reached on an error. And now Contreras will have to head out to the mound.
Oh, that's a specific plan what he wants to do here with Kane. Last time they got in on his hands with a fastball, got a weak little ground ball to third base.
Fouls 1-0 is a strike. Painted on the outside. 88 miles an hour.
See the frustration on the face of Kane, and you see a lot of that when Kyle Hendricks pitches.
One and two.
Went quickly that time, and Kane a little bit late on a pretty hittable pitch. That one right over the heart of the plate at 87 miles per hour. Well, typically doesn't make many mistakes in the middle of the zone.
Thames on deck. 1-2 pitch popped up. Shallow right. Baez over behind Caratini, and he's got it. That's the second out.
The 13th annual Race to Wrigley 5K charity run presented by ATI Physical Therapy returns to Wrigley Field on Saturday, May 5th. All participants will receive an exclusive Race to Wrigley shirt, drawstring bag, and a Race to Wrigley finisher's medal. Sign up today. Get training now. Racetowrigley.com to register.
Thames bats with 2 outs. And that pitch gets all the way by Contreras. Garcia with a big turnaround third. He'll hold there.
It's kind of funky. He just whiffed. Maybe got crossed up. I don't know.
I guess pass ball. So no hits in the inning, but they do have a runner at third here with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Brewers then bringing back the ball glove logo. It's very popular here in Milwaukee. Pinstripe uniforms. I think mostly Friday nights they wear that look. I like it. It was their main look from 1978 to 93. The 72 club I referenced earlier, their main logo was the Barrelman logo. You remember that one? Barrelman.
I'm sure. What if I saw it?
He was spinning like he was swinging the bat.
Yeah, I think I have a.
That was their original
visual
logo when they moved here. Fouled off. Definitely partial to the MB ball and glove. Just off the corner.
Good try and a good take.
Sets up a 3-2. And he walked him, and that'll bring up Ryan Braun.
Thames had been fooled by that changeup earlier in that at bat and was wise to it there. He tracked it well, never flinched. Still pretty much been fastballs and changeups from Kyle here tonight. Hasn't used the curveball.
Two on, 2 down in a 2-0 ball game. The pitch to Braun and just about hit him.
On with just 4 hits here in the early going, but 2 of them game-winning home runs.
One on the road in San Diego and the other one here to beat the Cardinals. Baez plays it on a bounce, and Hendricks gets out of the inning. They strand him at the corners on no hits. 2-0 Cubs. Built for baseball, presented by T-Mobile. T-Mobile is the best network for streaming baseball because your stadium should be where you make it. Woodruff against Hayward to start the fourth inning. Nice work by Kyle Hendricks to get out of some trouble with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. This ball is outside.
.305 ball game tomorrow. Yu Darvish will pitch for the Cubs. Zach Davies, crafty right-hander, will go for the Brew Crew.
I would expect Darvish to be a little bit more crafty himself. Didn't see a lot of soft stuff in his first start, mostly fastballs and sliders. Dribbled foul to first. Woodruff winds and fires on a 2-2, and it misses outside. 3-2. A lot of deep counts tonight. Trying
to hit that outside corner down. He's a big guy and sometimes has difficulty repeating his delivery. That time the front shoulder really leaked to the first base side, flew open, and it's very difficult to command the ball when you do that. Misses tend to be away on the arm side and up.
Fair ball, diving stab. Thames. Nice play.
Sharply hit. Thames fairly close to the line, just a step, flashing a little leather, taking away a would-be double from Hayward.
Digging in now is Baez. He was caught looking on strikes his first time up. He had 5 full counts already against the first 16 batters he's faced.
And that's mostly due to the Cubs' approach. It's been impressive to watch them work these at-bats here tonight.
One and one to count. That's left-hander Josh Hader starting to crank it up in the Milwaukee bullpen. Two and one. Indians got Michael Brantley back for their home opener today. He missed the first 6 games recovering from ankle surgery. Knocked in a couple in his first at bat of the year, and the Indians beat the Royals 3-2 in their home opener. Carlos Carrasco got the win. He's 2-0. 2-2 on Baez.
That's a good work here by Pena behind the plate. The last time they struck out Javi looking, and it was an at bat which they featured almost all fastballs, maybe one slider. They got him looking at a fastball up and in a little bit. Going back to the slider here and just pounding down and away. Now they're going to take a shot in. double-crossed Javi last time up there, because most right-handed pitchers, when they get 2 strikes on them, we're going to go to that slider away, and it was a little bit different game plan, and it worked out.
So the count has maxed out yet again. Not hit very hard. Arcia's got to hurry, and he gets Baez by half a step. We're out number 2.
On Monday, April 9th. My golly, that's this coming Monday. It's the home opener. The Pirates are in town. First pitch is at 1:20. And up to the first 30,000 early arriving fans will take home a Cubs magnet schedule presented by Giordano's. 2018 Cubs home opener. It only happens once. Tickets available. Still available, as a matter of fact, at Cubs.com. Good hack.
One strike to Hendricks. We will be in Cleveland later this month. 5-game trip. It's the next road trip. 3 in Colorado and then 2 at Progressive Field. The scene of the Cubs winning games 6 and 7 of the World Series 2 years ago. That should be fun. Both teams have World Series aspirations again. And that theoretically could be a really cold road trip too.
Absolutely.
Denver and Cleveland in April. Joel had the ski cap out. Still 2-2 on Hendricks.
There you go.
Yeah. We sure that's a hat? I thought I saw a heartbeat. 2-2 is outside.
It goes full again. Having a hard time commanding that outside corner. The right-handed hitters.
Into left center for a base hit. So the Cubs still have not had a 1-2-3 inning offensively in this series. The pitcher keeps this inning alive. His first hit of the season.
Might be the hardest hit ball of Kyle's major league career. That was a good looking swing, and a couple good swings of this at bat. This one pays off with a 2-out knock. So the Brewers still looking for their first 1-2-3 inning in this series.
Well, they're trying to push Woodruff to the 100 pitch mark before he completes 4 innings, which you very rarely ever see. This Thames will hold Hendricks over at first. Correct counsel.
Yeah. They had him hold him on to make that pickoff throw just to buy Hader enough time to get ready. I wonder why they were throwing over there with Kyle on first base.
So Woodruff knocked out of there in the 4th inning, and they'll dip into their bullpen when we come back. Game with Alex DeBrincat Anton Forsberg gives us a feel for what it's like with the team on the ice, and the guys play What's That Smell? Sunday at 4:30 on NBC Sports Chicago.
It's rank hockey gear. It's a smell all its own.
Here is Josh Hader.
Yeah, he came up last year and got everybody's attention. Extremely good fastball. He really can light up the radar gun.
He can give you multiple innings out of the bullpen, and he might do that tonight as Zobrist fouls back our way. Fourth inning, 2 outs, runner at first, 2-0 Cubs. They got their runs in the first.
Explosive delivery, hides the ball well. Reminds me a little bit of Norm Charlton from back in the day. One of the nasty boys with Rob Dibble, Randy Myers.
That is low, 1-2. Hendricks is the runner at first. He's singled with 2 outs. And it's 2-2 on Zobrist. Hader's from Millersville, Maryland. Drafted by the Orioles back in 2012, 19th round. In the air, deep to left, and that ball is foul by a few feet.
Which yet again with solid contact, but just twists foul. Nice play.
Yeah. Excellent work. Right field, Santana with an easy play. And we'll head to the last of the fourth. Cubs 2, Milwaukee 0. Tons of Cub fans here at Miller Park once again tonight. JD, I went on Amazon. I was looking for that cool fur hat or whatever animal on that guy's head, and couldn't find it.
That right there you're talking about. You got to be a member of the Raccoon Lodge to get one of those.
I'm telling you, something is sleeping on his head.
Wear your pet to the ballpark night.
Hendricks back to work. Shaw, Santana, and Pena, and that's a strike.
That guy wore a sailfish. See, Hendricks continues to pinpoint his pitches, and not easy to do because he spent a lot of time in the dugout tonight with these long half innings the Cub hitters are having. It's tough to stay in rhythm. It hasn't really had an ill effect on him here tonight. Usually you don't mind it because when your team's batting for that long, they're scoring a bunch of runs. It's not the case. They only have 2.
There has not been a lot of flow in this game. Drilled the left, and it's Schwarber to haul it in. Now Santana, who has their only hit, that was a single in the second.
Yelich bothered with a strained oblique, not in the lineup again tonight. No doubt he would be in there, obviously. Santana, who had been hitless against Hendricks, 2 for 2 here tonight. Wasting no time. Pitch out away from him and down a little bit. Could be a sweet spot for Santana.
Now the catcher Pena fouled out in the second inning.
Santana can run a little bit. Stole 15 bases last year in 19 tries.
Brewers set a major league record last year. They had 7 players with 10 homers and 10 steals. They led the National League in homers and stolen bases. It is caught by Caratini, and Santana safe at first. Was that a fair ball? Pena didn't run. It's tricky to drop that on purpose. A lot of things can go wrong.
Yeah, with the trajectory of that one, you just got to catch it. And it looked like it was going to land foul. But yeah, it would have been worth running down to first base.
So 2 outs. And it's VR, who a couple of years ago led the majors in steals. Rough year last year.
Yeah, rough year, and lost playing time. Neil Walker over here. Eric Sogard came along, took some at bats away from him.
Look at the slash line. 280, 280, 280. One ball, no strikes. Now 2-0 on VR. The oldest usher in the major leagues is hanging it up after 81 years in Pittsburgh. Phil Coyne is 99. He has been working home games for the Pirates since 1936. He'll turn 100 later this month, and he has decided to retire.
Wow. Well, what's he going to do with all his free time? Travel?
That's a great question. 100th birthday on April 27th. Off the end of the bat, and that flare will land in the grass and left. So 2 singles in the inning. And here comes Arcia.
Yeah, again, soft contact, but effective for VR off the end of the bat. The flare into shallow left. One strikeout for Kyle tonight. They came back in the first inning when he caught Thames looking.
Arcia reached on an error by Baez in the third. Swinging bunt. Contreras will pick it up, and that's it. They strand 2 for the second consecutive inning. Caratini now knows what it's like to be Anthony Rizzo. 2-0. Presented by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvook.com or follow him on social media. Nationwide is on your side. Still 2-zip. Cubs knocked the starter Woodruff out early after 3 2/3, nearly 100 pitches. Josh Hader got the final out of the 4th, and he'll face Bryant, Schwarber, and Contreras here in the 5th. Anthony Rizzo scratched due to some back tightness.
See why folks are high on Woodruff, though. Good velocity. I thought he had a nice changeup tonight. Slider, for the most part, was good. He can command the outside part of the plate against right-handed hitters. Improvement there would really help. Up against this tenacious Cubs lineup, they wouldn't give in. They didn't expand. Made him throw so many pitches. I mean, it wasn't like it was really bad. Didn't do a lot of damage against him, but the pitch count got him.
1-1 serve, swing and a miss. Pirates have added to their lead over the Reds, 10-2 now in the bottom of the 7th. Colin Moran is 3 for 3 and has knocked in 3 for the Pirates.
Interesting, a 10-2 ball game there in Pittsburgh. Both teams have 11 hits.
Yeah, that is odd. Still 1-2 to Bryant. Make it 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Hader was originally drafted by the Orioles, also had minor league time with the Astros.
This has been a clinic in terms of working counts tonight from this Cubs offense. Four-plus innings. They've seen 108 pitches so far. Swing and a miss. Went after the high one. Couldn't get it.
A strike chase. Kind of a low 3/4 arm angle and slings it up above the hands. That's a very difficult pitch to lay off. It's a tougher pitch to do anything with. Hader struck out 36% of the batters he faced last year. That's an elite number. 68 punch outs and 42 innings of work, something like that.
Schwarber has walked, scored, and struck out looking. Ball 1. Hader works from the stretch all the time. Is he keeping score? He's got a pencil and a scorecard. I love it.
Wisconsin cheese at the knees there for Schwartz.
Indiana University product, Kyle Schwarber.
Tough angle, too, for a left-handed hitter to deal with.
Schwarber has 5 hits, including 2 doubles and 2 home runs so far. As he waits on a 2-2, and he fouls out of play. The walk he took in the first inning was the 100th free pass of his young career. Two homers shy of 50. Contreras is ready. Already been on twice tonight. It's had a terrific series. Ball, strike 3.
Cub fans, take guided tours of legendary Wrigley Field. 2018 tours begin next week and include visits in various seating areas, the press box, the new dugouts, as well as a chance to actually step on the field. This must-see Chicago attraction houses over 100 years of history. Book your tour at Cubs.com/tours today.
Cannot wait to get back home to the friendly confines. See all the great offseason changes. Hader off the mound. And that ball kind of handcuffed Thames. First time in the series Cubs have been retired 1-2-3. They lead 2-0 in the 5th.
Bottom of the 5th. Sunday, April 15th. The Cubs host the Braves. First pitch at 1:20, and up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans will receive a pair of Cubs athletic socks. Those are handsome. Presented by Uber. Following the game, the first 1,000 kids 13 and younger will get the opportunity to run the bases, weather permitting. For tickets and information, visit Cubs.com. Do you ever see a word and just
panic?
Yeah, well,
what was the word?
I wanted to say Uber instead of Uber.
Well, maybe you're thinking of Bob Uecker.
It might be.
Hader.
Wow, he's tatted up pretty good, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And he lines the other way. First career hit for Josh Hader.
Might say he tattooed that ball.
He did. He is now 1 for 5 in the big leagues.
Sabero, the first base coach, making sure they get that ball. It's a good looking hack. So a couple of base runners in the 3rd and 4th for the Brewers. They have not yet been able to break through against Kyle Hendricks. This time it's a leadoff knock, though. The lineup turns over for Kane, and this will be the top of the order's 3rd look at Hendricks. So a bit of a situation here for Kyle.
Baez into the grass, makes the catch, throw to first. He was thinking 2 all the way, but Hader is not far off the bag. More weak contact.
Yeah, he's typically among the leaders in that department. It's because he's so precise, the ability to keep the ball off the fat part of the bat. And on the hands, out towards the end of the bat, hitters off stride.
There's Thames as the Cubs shift. Bryant now playing between Caratini and Baez on the right side. See the StatCast view of the defensive alignment. One strike to Thames. That right elbow looks impenetrable, doesn't it?
Yeah,
boy, that is some
cyborg. Yeah. He's really put together to begin with, and put that on him. So could be playing in the NFL. Talk about the professor and how he gets the job done. What we know is he doesn't blow people away with velocity. We've seen, in terms of fastball velocity, two of the softer tossers in this series. Suter pitched yesterday for Milwaukee, and Kyle Hendricks going here tonight. The irony there, as you look at that list, Bartolo Colon throws about 90% fastballs.
That's deep center field, and it is gone. And this game is tied at 2. Number 2 for Eric Thames.
Ford home run replay. He leans back and lifts off. Straightaway center field. Thames, a 3 true outcome guy here tonight. A strikeout, a walk, and now a home run.
So after back-to-back games in which Milwaukee was shut out, they're on the board here in the 5th inning tonight. And the batter is Ryan Braun, and he lines out into right for a base hit. It was only the second home run allowed by Cubs pitching so far this season. Derek Dietrich got Yu Darvish in Miami. Pitch to Travis Shaw. Looked good. Didn't get the call on a curve.
Yeah, and that may or may not be the first one he's thrown tonight.
He's got to get one of those 2 calls, right?
Wow.
If not both. Contreras having a little discussion with Chad Whitson.
The bottom of the zone breaking ball is a tough pitch to get called, but the second one, a good chunk of home plate.
Shaw could not hold. 2-1. Two tie. Thames just knotted it up on a long homer to center. That one crushed. Travis Shaw with a 2-run blast, and the Brewers lead 4-2. That's his first of the year. And they have their first lead of the series.
First of the year, 3rd home run career for Shaw against Kyle Hendricks. There's a 4th home run replay. He was all over that pitch. Wow, things have turned in a hurry here. My goodness.
Now, we mentioned it earlier. They led the league in home runs last year with 224. They've been really quiet to start this series. A couple of left-handed bats, Thames and Shaw, taking Hendricks deep. him on the warning track and left. So Kyle Schwarber able to retrieve it and will continue. Santana bounces foul. Two-2 pitch. Bryant will scoop. So that's the second out. Here comes Pena as they retired Santana for the first time. (14-2). Pittsburgh over the Reds. Are only in the 7th inning in that game. That has position player pitching written all over it.
Scooter Gennett. Well, with the win, the Pirates will go to 6-1. And a lot of folks think the Pirates are going to be a real contender this year. At what point you start to change your thinking about a team? How far into the season do they have to play at a high level before you buy in? Probably a month at least,
yeah,
right?
I'd say early May. Three and one the count on Pena. Bullpen still quiet. Pitch count in good shape for Kyle, even though he trails 4-2. Schwarber coming in, and he can't get it, so it's over Russell and in front of Schwarber. Fifth hit of the inning, and here comes Jim Hickey. This all started with Josh Hader's first major league hit to lead off the inning. Is the second official mound visit for the Cubs. I believe the Brewers have used a couple as well. And it's the switch hitting VR.
The Brewers have not hit many balls hard off Kyle here tonight. Unfortunately, two of them have left the ballpark, though. What a weird feel to this game.
One and one. Orioles and Yanks are tied 3-3 in the 9th inning in the Bronx. Manny Machado has homered twice for the Orioles in that game. Off the end of the bat. And Bryant's throw is going to be late. VR's speed makes it an infield hit. He just couldn't get the ball out of his glove. It's going to be a tough play no matter what. And their 6th hit this inning.
Yeah, last 2 soft, right? The little blooper by Pena, now a little squibber off the end of the bat. It's got all kinds of funky spin on it. I think that contributed. See, it's rattling around in Chris's glove there before he can finally pull it out and make a throw.
First and second, and it's Arcia, and that's outside, ball 1.
We noted this last year. It's very much like Starlin Castro, Arcia in the batter's box.
Brewer to bat this inning. All right, I have a quick question for you. The coldest first pitch temperature in Major League history. What would you guess?
In the 20s.
23 in Denver 5 years ago. And that's caught by Zobrist. We might have been there here in Milwaukee. It was at the old ballpark. 4-2 Brewers after 5. To Universal Orlando Resort, including airfare, accommodations, and admission to 3 theme parks. Plus, you could check out the new Fast and Furious Supercharged opening this spring. Enter now to win at NBCSportsChicago.com/Universal. Cubs find themselves trailing for the first time in the series, 4-2. Hader has faced 4 and retired all of them, and ball 1 to Russell. 6th inning.
Solid single to right and a deep fly out to left for Russell here tonight. Ooh, my goodness.
I mentioned earlier the Braves beat the Rockies 8-3 today on that frigid afternoon. Yeah, got that call. Not a call pitchers have been getting very often in this game. Ozzie Albies said it was the first time he'd ever seen snow. So he was having a ball.
Yeah, I
thought it was cool. Swing and a miss. Almost got him on the back foot. Cubs have been in a ton of 3-2 counts in this ballgame. And that's the 3rd time they've walked. Leadoff free pass, and the batter's Caratini.
Council's got the bullpen stirring. Corey Knebel, their closer, blew out his hamstring last night, so he's on the shelf.
And they brought up a right-hander, Adrian Hauser, from Double-A to replace him on the active roster. And the pitch to Caratini, now batting right-handed, is ball 1. Jeremy Jeffress. The right-handers starting to get loose. In that corner
Why
again.
would you throw anything but?
He has the most saves of anybody on their active roster now with Knebel on the DL. 28 career saves. Nobody else has more than 4. Two ball, 1 strike count. And Hader fires to first. Russell going to dive back in.
Pretty good move here from Hader. Straddling that line. If he goes too far towards home plate, it's a balk, but he looked like he was okay.
Brewers are checking out the video. Still waiting.
It's Pat Murphy, the bench coach, on the phone. He was Craig Counsell's coach in college at Notre Dame.
And will not challenge. Two and two.
Time Russell going back to the base as the pitch was being delivered.
Yeah, Hader's fastball seems faster than what the gun says. It's got good life.
Yeah, there's some deception there. It gives you a lot to look at. The leg kick and the way he kind of jumps at the hitter. Turns his back a little bit. Tonight's game brought to you by the numbers 3 and 2.
Late afternoon start tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Yu Darvish, Zach Davies, and then 1 o'clock getaway day on Sunday. Jose Quintana, Chase Anderson. Another 3-2 and another foul. Let's get our Verizon projected starters. What the Cubs will face. Davies and Anderson. Anderson was their opening night starter in San Diego.
Yeah, both those guys did a very nice job for Craig Counsell last year.
Pretty well hit the center. Kane will run it down. Back to first is Russell. And what happened? We got catcher's interference.
Maybe a balk.
Right, so take the out away. And still 3-2 the count on Caratini. Well, that's an interesting change. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either. It must have been the one of the base umpires. Probably called he didn't come to a complete set. No. Came to about as much of a set as most guys do.
Yeah, I did not. One more look here.
Wow.
Second base umpire made the call, Fielding Colbert. I think that's a break for the Cubs.
That's huge.
James will not have a play.
Huge with the potential to get huger.
Still nobody out. New life for Caratini. Another 3-2. Got him this time. Looking. Third strikeout for Hader.
Buzzsaw to the inside corner at the knees.
Jason Hayward. This is a tough at bat for a lefty. And he looks at a strike.
No keeping his powder dry here in the 6th inning. I think this is the 7th, certainly the 8th. He probably goes with Almora or Happ here.
Swing and a miss. Infield pop up. Thames for out number 2. Russell holding at second base.
And the Cubs for their annual Boy Scout night on Tuesday, April 17th. The Cubs are offering specially priced tickets to scouts and their families and friends to watch the Cubs host the Cardinals. All participants will receive a commemorative Cubs-themed scout patch featuring Clark the Cub. For more information, visit Cubs.com/community nights.
Jeffress will come in with Baez the scheduled hitter. More changes as well. 4-2 Milwaukee. The leadoff hitter in the 6th. And Jeremy Jeffress looking for the final out here in the top of the 6th.
Veteran right-hander on for the 4th time this year. He's already picked up a W, 4 innings of work. Last year he split time with the Rangers and the Brewers. Started with the Brewers way back in 2006. Moved along to the Royals and the Blue Jays. Back to the Brewers, off to the Rangers, back to the Brewers. They like him here. They keep bringing him back.
Baez bounces foul to third. Runner at second is Russell. He walked to start the inning. Moved to second on a balk. One strike on Baez. Here it comes. 0-2.
Fastball curve and change from Jeffress. Number 1 pick of the Brewers back in 2006.
Gets away, and Baez did not swing at it. Russell holds at second.
There's an article in Sports Illustrated recently in which they interviewed an anonymous scout to get his take on all the teams in the National League. They did for the American League as well. And in talking about Javi Baez, he said if he could develop the plate discipline, not chase that 2-strike pitch, be willing to put that ball in play, shorten up. This particular scout said he'd be an MVP candidate.
Wow. That was high praise. And he finds the gap in right center. Good timing. Russell will score. Baez to second. He's going to try for 3. Relay. Gets by. Baez on his way to the plate. Little League home run. And we're tied at 4. And he needs a moment.
Yeah. No, he made that mad dash around the bases in the ball game last night, scoring from first base. That was ruled an error, but a little soft line drive off the pitcher into center field, hit by John Lester. Tonight he does it all by himself. Stays on this fastball, hammers it into the alley in right center, and off to the races he goes. Again, you could maybe question the wisdom of going to third base there in this situation, but it pays off in spades. I hit him in the head.
So,
Cub fans want a curtain call.
Triple and an error. Showing us where the ball hit him on the throw.
Yeah, the helmet comes flying off, and the throw catches him right on the back of the head. As does the leg of Shaw as he goes to pursue that ball. Mr. Excitement, Javi Baez.
So back to even. And the Brewers defensively have been their own worst enemy. This is their 8th game. They have only played 1 errorless game this year. That is their 7th error in the last 3 days. And this one huge. 2 strikes on the pinch hitter Ian Happ. Sogard charged with the error on the throw. Little flare. Base hit. Ian Happ. Well, I love what the scout said about Javier Baez, but I also love what you said last year, mostly about his defense, but the base running too. He's the most fun player in the game to watch when he's doing stuff like he just did.
Yeah, he always is pushing the envelope, but it's it's rarely reckless, and it usually pays off. We'll say I'm a little surprised at the pitch selection, though, throwing him a fastball the way they did there.
His manager says he's got eyes in the back of his head, so he'll be a good parent. Swing and a miss by Zobrist. Foul pass first. 4-4 tie here in the 6th inning. Happ just took off, and the pitch missed. An easy stolen base for him. And 1-2 on Zobrist. The greatest jump in Major League history.
Yeah, well, somebody should have been screaming to Jeffers to step off.
Two and two. Well, Kyle Hendricks tonight. Still could get a win if they could cash in this run. With 5 innings, gave up 9 hits and 4 runs, and Zobrist has worked a full count.
Yeah, the ethics of pitching in this situation is you deadpan it there in the dugout because you're not supposed to be selfish, but inside you go, come on, give me that W. It would be bad form to be on the top step of the dugout waving a towel.
Play made by the shortstop Arcia. Cubs tie it up. Javier Baez has been right in the middle of everything in this series, using his head tonight big time. Been a little crazy here the last couple of innings. 4-4. Bottom of the 6th. Veteran left-hander Brian Dunsing.
Working for the 4th time on this young season. He was up in the pen once or twice in the ball game last night, but did not work. 3 2/3 innings and a couple of hits so far this year. Sogard, who came in the double switch, a left-handed batter, will lead things off. And then it's to the top.
It was Sogard's error on the throw that allowed Baez to score the tying run. 1 ball, no strikes.
Tough error, boy.
Yep.
Throw was right on the money, but unfortunately for Sogard and to a certain extent for Baez, it hit Javi in the back of the head.
Sogard really good last year. Came up from AAA in May. Struggled late, but got off to a great start. Put up a career best 770 OPS.
Kyle Hendricks tonight, 5 innings, 9 hits, 6 of them coming in that 5th inning. 4 runs allowed, a walk, a strikeout through 84 pitches.
A little something off the fastball right down the pipe, and it's 3-1. You do the New York Times crossword puzzle?
I do. I haven't done it in a while.
He walked him. So that's a leadoff free pass. Thursdays this week was kind of fun. Baseball theme. One of the clues, 43 across, was Dracula after stuffing himself. Full count.
Full count.
Huh. I thought that would be appropriate to bring up tonight.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of those.
Yeah.
Take a shot at a couple of others here. Bass part in Beethoven's Choral Symphony.
Choral Symphony.
Yeah. The bass part.
Bottom of the 5th.
Bottom of the 9th.
Bottom of the 9th.
Kane hits a rocket fair. I guess it caught the chalk. And it's a double for Kane, and the Brewers have him at second and third with nobody out. Boy, that, if it did hit the chalk, it hit the far outside of the chalk. Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, this might be worth taking a look.
Call made by Brian O'Nor, the third base umpire. See, that looks foul to me, and Joe might challenge it. Yep, he's going to, and I think it's a good challenge at this juncture of the game.
Yeah, this could be huge.
But is there enough evidence to overturn it? That is a tough call.
Yeah, it depends on how clean a look they get in New York, if they're able to kind of, break it down frame by frame.
Usually you see a lot of white paint or chalk go flying in the air, and it didn't look like there was any of that. But yeah, at this point in the ball game, even on a 50-50 call, that's a good challenge.
Well, they look like they got a quick resolution. Well, maybe not. They were coming out of a little scrum down there. I know what John McEnroe thinks. At some point they'll have technology, they'll have wires in the line, and it'll light up if the ball hits it.
So
the call stands.
Yep, they've upheld the call. I think if it's a foul call, I think it stays foul, right?
Yes.
I think the original call probably ends up on that one standing, which is unfortunate for the Cubs, big time.
Yeah, now Brian Dunson's got to pull a rabbit out of his hat here. Second and third, nobody out. Thames will take the at bat. He really struggled against left-handed pitching last year, hit less than 200.
Infield back except for Bryant at third.
With nobody out, this is not a go on contact situation for Sogard at third. He'll be reading it off the bat.
Throw's going to go to the plate. Sogard's going to try to stay in a rundown long enough to give Thames second base, and it's going to work. So Sogard is out, and the base runner situation is the same with one out. That's a good job by Sogard to make them make one more throw.
Yeah, it was a throw they didn't have to make. I was surprised to see him go as sharply as that ball was hit, but he does a nice job. You see, Contreras just keeps running him back. The back runner had already committed to the base, and I think he would have had time to run back, tag him, and then make a play on Thames trying to go to second base.
So Joe is heading to the bullpen. Dunsing will be lifted. And right-hander coming in. Maybe Pedro Strop. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. It's a second and third one-out situation, and Ryan Braun in a 4-4 tie. Sixth inning.
Braun 1 out of 3 tonight. Singled last inning and scored on the Shaw home run. He is 1 out of 10 lifetime against Pedro. Wilson getting ready, presumably for Shaw, the left-handed hitting slugger who's on deck.
The fair call, by the way, was confirmed. So they must have had a better look than we did. Here we go. Ball one.
Situation where the Brewer base runners better be heads up, because Wilson Contreras loves to try to make plays with his arm in these situations.
Back. Justin Wilson up in the bullpen. Strike 2 on a fastball.
So Strop better make sure he stops out there. Fielded Culbreth called that balk on Hader earlier.
And he went after a bad one in the dirt. 2 down. 2 outs. It'll bring up Travis Shaw. Huge strikeout. Strop has dominated Ryan Braun. He's now 1 for 11 against him.
Yeah, just awful ugly swing by Braun on a breaking ball way down in the dirt. Wilson for Shaw.
Joe playing the matchups in the 6th.
Tracking in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today.
Lefty-lefty matchup. Justin Wilson against Travis Shaw, who hit a go-ahead 2-run homer off Kyle Hendricks in the 5th. 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs in the 6th. And they had him in scoring position with nobody out. And no doubter for Shaw. And 1 on him. Kick, the pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2. 96 from Wilson.
Shaw well behind that good heater. Wilson pretty fastball heavy in his outing so far this year.
He got him. Looking, and the Cubs escape. Dunsing, Strop, and Wilson find a way to get through the 6th inning with no runs. We're still tied. It's time for the Miller Lite Hold True moment. Javier Baez provides it for the 2nd straight night.
Perfect turn of second base, and the throw from Sogard clips him in the back of the head. On home he goes.
1-0 on Chris Bryant. 4-4 deadlock. You took the over on the attendance and you nailed it. 37,758. Line drive to Arcia for the out.
Done a nice job on Chris tonight. 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Top of the top 3. Zobrist, Bryant, and Schwarber have gone hitless to this point in the ball game. Zobrist and Schwarber have each drawn a walk.
Jeffress to Schwarber. And a twisting foul on a play to left.
Just a little bit behind that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Kyle, the strikeout victim, each of his last 2 at bats, looking both times. Oh, good changeup at 90 miles per hour.
Schwarber strikes out on a foul tip.
Wow, that was nasty. Cub fans, show your team pride with Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Members FDIC.
Shohei Ohtani has homered again. A's lead the Angels 6-1 in the second.
It's 3.
That is number 3 this week for Ohtani, DHing and batting 8, hitting .467. I think he's scheduled to start again as a pitcher on Sunday.
They're going to pitch him every 7 days is the plan. Japanese Babe Ruth.
I have a feeling one network that airs games on Sunday night will appreciate that. If he works every Sunday game, the Angels might be featured a few times.
Walter Johnson did that towards the end of his career. Pitch him on Sundays.
Look out. Contreras gets out of the way. It's 2-1. For Drake, Oliver Drake getting loose. Woodruff only went 3 2/3. Hader followed now Jeffress. As they try to piece it together tonight. In the corner and right, it's deep, and it is caught by Santana in fair territory. Stretch time in Milwaukee. Cubs and Brewers tied at 4.
Ticket purchase opportunity to expand access for fans interested in buying Cubs tickets at an affordable price. The team will now offer 60 tickets located in the lower level terrace for just $10 for every regular season home game. Fans can register online for the opportunity to purchase up to 4 tickets. Registration opens 48 hours before the game and closes 24 hours prior to the scheduled first pitch. There is no fee to enter. For details, visit Cubs.com/1060 tickets.
Justin Wilson, who got out of the 6th, striking out Shaw, will face Santana here in the 7th. 4-4 tie. And a pitch. Fastball low.
It's Matt Albers.
It was the right-hander cranking it up. Missed again. 2-0.
Justin struggled when he joined the Cubs last year. And control issues, too many walks. Doesn't have command of his fastball. So far this year has been good.
Big rip.
You're not afraid to throw it in there. I mean, that's a dangerous hitter. 2-0, a challenge fastball.
Brewers had a golden opportunity to retake the lead. 2nd and 3rd, no outs in the 6th, and could not get a run in. Bunsen, Strop, and Wilson all got an out to escape.
Strikeout of Braun, the real key there, keeping that ball out of play.
Starting to feel like we should just start every at bat 3-2 tonight. Struck him out. Back-to-back Ks for Wilson.
Shaw looking, Santana swinging through this four-seam fastball.
Pena steps in. Saw Jet Bandy last night. Stephen Vogt, the veteran, was on the DL with a shoulder strain.
Anthony Rizzo was scratched prior to the game, but doesn't mean he couldn't pinch hit.
One ball, one strike to Pena. Cubs bullpen currently quiet. And you need a quiet inning after you match up. Use three guys to get out of one inning.
Especially in a tie game. You just don't know how many innings you're going to end up playing.
So Kyle Hendricks started the game that went 17. He started tonight. We're tied in the 7th. A fly ball, Hayward and Zobrist. It will be the center fielder.
So this is interesting. This at least twice now, and the strike three of Shaw, that was the case where Contreras looks like he's calling for a high fastball, and Justin throws it down around the knees. Now I don't know if Wilson's just trying to deke the hitter or Wilson Contreras.
I heard two L's.
Yeah, Wilson Contreras. If he's just trying to deke the hitter, or Justin Wilson is missing his spot, or just disregarding and saying, I don't want to throw it up there, I'll just throw it down.
Jesus Aguilar pinch hitting in the pitcher spot.
Yeah, that's what they did with Shaw last inning.
Aguilar hit 3 homers in the pinch in 2017. Trying to do it again there and missed. He had a good night last night. Three hits and 4 at-bats. One from Wilson. 2 balls and a strike.
Aguilar's trying to rearrange some bone chips or something in his elbow.
And the Cubs have done a really nice job of adding pitching via trade and free agency over the last few years. The Brewers have gotten some great bargains in terms of their position players over the last couple of years under David Stearns, their GM. Aguilar, Thames, the trade for Shaw, Santana, Keon Broxton, who's currently at AAA. Kind of not necessarily bought low, but guys there aren't paying a ton of money who really produced for them.
They've been overlooked by some other clubs. Shaw had a breakout year last year, hit 31 home runs.
I mentioned Sogard did a nice job as a utility guy. Hernan Perez plays everywhere. And a team in a smaller market like this, you have to make moves like that.
Andy Pena, the catcher.
He walked him. Arcia homegrown. Mentioned last night he signed when he was 16 years old.
23 now. He's from Venezuela.
With a dramatic game-tying homer in the bottom of the ninth last September off Wade Davis. It was Wade's only blown save as a Cub. In the dirt, Aguilar thought about it. 2-0.
Hard time finding the zone here, and that's got Jim Hickey on the phone.
Four-pitch walk, back-to-back 3 passes, and the batter will be Sogard.
Cishek in a hurry. Hickey to the mound.
So the Cubs have used half of their regulation mound visits now. And that is a season high.
If the Brewers were trailing, I would think Hernan Perez would hit here. You've got to be careful how you use your resources in a tie ball game. Yelich is on the bench, presumably not available with the strained oblique, and so aside from Yelich, it's Perez and the other catcher, Jet Bandy.
So 2 on, 2 down. Go-ahead run is in scoring position in the form of Aguilar. There we go. The pitch outside. That's 5 consecutive misses. Now let's see. That's at least 6 consecutive balls. I think it's 7. 2-0.
Now it really becomes mental. Should be taking all the way here.
Dangerous walking him loaded here.
Yeah, you kind of lose conviction and you start to cut it off instead of just finishing that pitch and driving it towards home plate. You short arm it a little bit.
Kane is on deck. 3-1. And they are loaded.
Cishek was working quickly out there, so I'm assuming he's ready. Joe Madden's coming out of the dugout. He better be ready.
Wilson really upset with himself. He retired the first 3 faced. That big strikeout of Shaw to get out of the 6th, but with 2 outs here in the 7th, he walks 3, and now Steve Cishek will face Lorenzo Cain when we return. Cishek, who's been absolutely terrific to start his Cubs career, will pitch in his 4th game, and it's a bases loaded spot against Lorenzo Cain.
Yeah, no margin for error here for the sidewinding Cishek. Cain hit that double off the left field line last time up. He's 1 out of 4 tonight.
426th career appearance, all out of a big league bullpen. The pitch to Cain. Good start. Aguilar 3rd, Arcia 2nd, Sogard 1st. They all walked with 2 outs. Cain asks for time. He just snapped an 0 for 16 with that 6th inning double. Foul ball to right, and it's 0-2. Well, if you divide the season into 16 at bats, you'd say Cain was an MVP. He was 9 for 16, and then he was 0 for 16.
So he was the least valuable player for the next 16.
Can change in a hurry in both directions. High that time.
He's pretty good at throwing that elevated fastball from that drop down arm angle. Most guys who throw from down there don't do that effectively. He does. Really change the eye level down, 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 then take a shot up.
1-2, swing and a miss. Curved him to get out of the inning, and they leave him loaded. Still 4-4 after 7. Eighth inning, it is right-hander Matt Albers for Milwaukee. Brewers have stranded 5 over the last 2 innings to keep this game tied.
First picked up Albers this offseason. He was with the Nationals last year. He's been around a long time. So far, so good for Matt Albers. 3 appearances with his new club. Long, loose arm action, sinkers and sliders. Typically what you see from Albers. From Houston, debuted with Houston in 2006.
That's convenient. Strike 1 to Russell. It's Carl Edwards Jr. Woodruff, Hader, Jeffress, Albers for Milwaukee, Hendricks, Dunsing, Stroh, Wilson, Cishek for the Cubs. Strike 2.
Quality pitch there. At the knees with a little action. Russell's been good tonight. Single, deep fly to left, walk scored last time.
Albers fields and throws to first. These 2 bullpens have been pretty stingy in the early going, so see what gives here in the late innings.
Knable due to injury. Barnes threw 2 innings last night. I don't know if he'd be available tonight or not.
Slings it in there. It's a strike on the outside. Caratini knocked in a run with his first hit of the year in the opening inning. And the ball ended up in shallow left. Not sure how, but he's the happiest person in the ballpark currently. Two strikes on Victor Caratini, starting at first base for Anthony Rizzo tonight. Rizzo dealing with some back stiffness. Guessing Joe would like to stay away from him tonight, but you never know. That could loosen up by the 15th. 1-2.
Oh yeah, and if nothing else, he'd go up there and work a walk.
One out, 8th inning, and the 1-2 pitch fouled. Albert's rubbing up a new baseball, takes a walk around the mound.
He's pitched in over 500 major league games. He did some starting early in his career in Houston. Spent a couple years with the Astros before moving on to Baltimore. Then on to Boston, Arizona, Cleveland, back to Houston. 2015 and 16 with the White Sox. Last year, as I mentioned, a National.
He held. Two balls, two strikes. Hayward next. Here it comes. It's a full count.
What the record is for pitches in a 9-inning game. Probably not even close. There's been a lot of them.
Ground ball to first. That's Thames unassisted.
What's 168 plus 131? 199. 299. The next pitch will be the 300th offering.
300th pitch. That's a lot. Well, the starter for Milwaukee tonight was Brandon Woodruff. He threw 95 pitches and only went 3 2/3 innings. Jason Hayward looks at ball one.
First home run of the year came for Jason last night on the anniversary of his first major league home run with the Braves back in 2010.
Similar pitch, 2-0. Stands way off the plate, especially compared to a guy like Anthony Rizzo. And off the end of the bat, Braun in left. Albers with a perfect 8. Still tied at 4. And it's Carl Edwards Jr. And we'll see what he's done here early on. 6 strikeouts in 3 innings. As he faces tough part of the order here, Thames, Braun, and Shaw.
Yeah, I think Joe likes Edwards on Thames. Lefties hit just 119 against Carl last year.
Bryant has joined Baez and Caratini over on the right side of the infield against the left-handed hitting Thames. Powdered one to center to tie the game in the 5th inning. High fly ball, deep center, but this one's going to stay in, and it's Hayward to make the catch for out number 1.
Yeah, you know, I imagine folks are saying, well, why not Montgomery, the left-handed pitcher there? Well, now you got Braun coming up, and again, much like you use your bench, you got to be careful how you use your resources in your bullpen and play the matchup game one batter after another. Sooner or later, you're out of pitchers.
Very mixed reaction to Ryan Braun with all the Cub fans here inside Miller Park. That is a strike on a curveball.
Softer get over breaking ball from Edwards. He also buried that sharp downer in the dirt when he's looking for a swing and miss.
Swing and miss on the curve.
Like that.
Yep.
That stroke got Braun last time. Slider in the dirt.
Two strikes to Braun. Swing and a miss. A fastball.
Contreras is set up way outside. He wanted that pitch nowhere near the plate, and a lively fastball over the plate and down, and another bad hack by Braun. I think he was looking breaking pitch there. And is that Jim Hickey in the background of our shot in the dugout? Somebody very animated. Maybe it was Borzy. Somebody was digging that pitch.
Shaw 1 for 4 with a 2-run homer, his first of the season. Brewers out hitting the Cubs tonight 10-6. To the high one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Let's see who it was.
Yes, watch somebody, whoever was sitting there hopped up, and
Borzello.
It's Borzello, yep. Yeah. So clearly he was heavily invested in that pitch.
Love that. Ball and 2 strikes. he went? Ooh, he did not. Ryan O'Nora had a better look than I did. And he was right.
Brian O'Nora ejected Travis Shaw last night after a dispute about called strikes. Might have prompted another argument there had Brian rung him up.
Shaw admitted after the game he deserved to get kicked out. Called strike 3. Excellent work from Edwards. Or as he loves it, we will head to the 9th inning. Cubs 4, Milwaukee 4. 4-4 tie. Cubs played a couple of extra inning games in Miami last weekend. They'd love to get a run or two here in the 9th and win in regulation.
I'm surprised to see Javi try to drop a bunt down here. A couple of options. Shaw's back at third, or he could try to push one out towards second base.
Yep, good call. And he did not swing at it or bunt at it, so it's ball 1. Tommy La Stella's on deck. Matt Albers in his 2nd inning of work.
Push it out there towards second base. Thames would have to make a decision, and if Thames went to get the baseball, I don't think Albers is going to win a foot race. Baez.
1-1. They're in the 12th in New York. Orioles and Yankees tied at 3. Somebody knocked off the top step. All right, Joe smiling. That's good. One and 2 to Baez. 9th inning and a 4-4 tie. Cubs played 5 extra inning games here last year out of the 10 total. Morrow is the right-hander on the left, and on the right is the lefty Montgomery. Maybe a little chilly out there. Lester Strode dressed for winter. Lined and caught. Shaw went up to get it.
Well, 2 strikes, he backed off even further. He was guarding the line throughout the at-bat. He was just perfectly positioned.
Tommy La Stella drives one out in the left center. Extra bases for the pinch hitter. It's a double. Go ahead, run at second.
Absolutely amazing. We talk coming out of spring training how it's important to get the bench guys a start every now and then to stay fresh. That's not the case with La Stella. He's just so good, regardless of whether he's getting frequent at bats or not. About a bat staying in the zone a long time. Such a simple yet effective approach. What a weapon.
Couple of shots to get him in now. Zobrist. These teams have combined to strand 18 men on base. 12 left for the Brewers. through 8 innings.
Yeah, so the frustration factor is running pretty high over in the home dugout.
Sounds like a new TV show.
It's a new stat.
Frustration factor.
They've got a team FF index of 127. How many visits is that? They got a counter up here in the ballpark?
We do in the corners, and that's the third for the Brewers.
Yeah. There it is.
Might as well use them. They don't cost nothing.
These guys might have been minor league teammates way back in the day, huh? Alpers and Zobrist,
Sure.
the Astros.
Yeah. I'll go with it.
Sitting pretty here, 2-0.
The pitch. 3 balls, no strikes. Bryant looms on deck.
Swung 3-0 earlier in the ball game, and the way he's been swinging it with his plate discipline, I would give him the green light right here. Trust him to make a good decision. Whoa.
Runner at second, 1 away. 9th inning and a 4-4 tie. Cubs won 8-0 to open the series last night. Three and 2. Comes all the way back and strikes out Zobrist.
Impressive work by Albers, inducing a awkward swing here from Ben. You rarely see that. He had to do it all over again. I bet you he wishes he'd taken a whack at that 3-0 fastball.
We want to welcome those viewers who just watched the Blues and Blackhawks. St. Louis with a 4-1 win. 4-4 tie here in Milwaukee. Cubs and the Brewers. 9th inning. Tommy LaStella's at second base with 2 outs. I understand Patrick Sharp is probably going to retire after tomorrow's game in Winnipeg.
A heck of a career.
Yep, we wish Patrick the best. He's a huge baseball fan. We've seen him at the ballpark quite a bit.
Well, Albers started Zobrist 3-0 actually, came back to get him, but this is a dangerous way to make a living against these good hitters following behind. KB 0 for 4 tonight. Looking for a little redemption.
2-0 on the way. 3 balls, no strikes. If he walks Bryant, it's Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, and even though Schwarber's a left-handed hitter, I think they just want a fresh start, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. They're going to put Bryant on.
Comes Eric Johnson. So they'll talk it over. First and second, 2 outs, 9th inning.
Kind of like this matchup for Schwarber. Albers likes to live down in the zone, and Kyle's pretty good. Sinker just up a little bit. Be able to inflict some damage. Walked and scored in the first, and then 3 strikeouts since.
Bias line to third. LaStella came off the bench and doubled. Zobrist struck out. Bryant, after a 3-0 start, was intentionally walked, and now it's Kyle Schwarber.
Pena letting everybody know where he's going to go with the baseball if the Cubs run.
First pitch to Schwarber. There's a strike. Albers has the sign. No look at the runner at second. And he missed. It's 1-1.
Imagine at some point Craig Counsell had the thought tonight, of course, the day after I lose my closer to injury, we're in a 4-4 game in the late innings.
Ooh. 1-2.
Dialed it up a little bit. 94 from Albers.
Yeah, you look at Hader, 2 innings. Jeffress went over an inning. Albers trying to complete his second inning. They may all be down tomorrow. Schwarber asks for time.
Be short to the ball here.
The kick, the pitch, swing and a miss. Cubs strand a couple. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth, still tied. Beverage Depot. Cubs bullpen has been just lights out to start the season. And excellent work again tonight. Especially to get out of the 6th inning. And then the 7th inning. And then Edwards with a 1-2-3-8. Benny's Beverage Depot is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs. Those numbers going into tonight, so that ERA has gone down. New outfield configuration and a new pitcher. It's left-hander Mike Montgomery.
Mike has performed quite well so far. He's out for the 4th time. He's allowed a couple of hits, but no runs. So previous 3.
Pitcher's spot will go into Schwarber's spot in the batting order. Zobrist moves over to left. Almora now in center, and Hayward is in right. And Domingo Santana takes a strike. Bottom of the 9th. Cubs trying to push this one to extras.
Brewers have 4 wins this year. 3 of them have come in their last at bat.
If they pull this one out, it'll be another one in their final at bat.
I feel like they've reached their quota.
I agree with you.
Yes, he did.
1-2.
Pena's next, then the pitcher's spot will likely be Hernan Perez. Looks like the Drake is back up in the pen.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. All right, you had a number about balls in play. What is that now? 9 out of 11? Or what?
Yeah, there's been 2 balls. Well, yeah, 1, 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The last 12 men to come to bat for the Brewers, 2 have put the ball in play.
Wow.
3 walks and the rest strikeouts.
Slow curve didn't break enough. And it's 1-0 on Pena. The pitch. Recalibrated, still couldn't get it. 2-0. Keep trying.
If at first you don't succeed.
From the line. Swing and a miss.
The cutter that actually backed up on Mike there, trying to go down and in there.
Perez is on deck. The bat for Albers. Here comes a 2-2. And it's full 3-2. Telling you, Baez is moving around a lot as the pitch is being delivered. I think he's trying to affect the hitter, because where he's standing, it looks like that's right where the ball's coming out of Montgomery's hand. Seen him do that a fair amount here to start the year, and some of it may just be anticipating, but he looks like he's stutter stepping on occasion. Just maybe grab a little of that hitter's attention. Gets away. And Pena aboard with 1 out, and it's the pinch hitter Hernan Perez.
Perez had an interesting night last night. A couple big errors in the field. Took an offer with a couple of punch outs, but he was still smiling at the end of the night. And the reason why is because he pitched.
Yeah, what, 1 pitch and 1 out. Caratini will hold on Pena. Cubs a double play depth. Baez cheats toward the bag at second. And here's Baez earlier. I think he just can't keep his feet still either. Charged by Bryant. He'll glove and throw, and it gets away. And Perez is going to hold it first, but more importantly, Pena is now at third with only 1 out. So I'm guessing infield hit and a throwing error on Chris, allowing that runner to advance to third.
And Montgomery gets a lot of ground balls, and Chris probably should have just put that one in his back pocket. Slow roller, had to come a long way to get it, never got the handle on it.
That'll bring Joe Madden out to the mound. He's not making a change. They're going to discuss strategy with the entire infield. The batter is Arcia.
They might go with 5 infielders here. Definitely go with a shallow outfield.
Brewers have had a lot of chances after the Cubs tied it. They left 2 on in the 6th. They had 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, did not score. They then loaded the bases on walks with 2 outs in the 7th. Steve Cishek came on and struck out Kane. And now they have him at 1st and 3rd, 1 out in the 9th inning.
Going to play for 2 in the middle. Montgomery, an extreme ground ball pitcher.
Goes to first just to see what the Brewers might have in store. Not showing bunt at all, and it's outside for ball 1. You definitely think about a bunt here just because the Brewers have struggled so much in getting guys in, and now Zobrist comes way in and left.
You're going to move him into the infield.
So Almora will play left center, Hayward in right center, and Zobrist will join Baez and Caratini over on the right side of the infield. Baez standing almost on the bag at second. Here's the pitch. A walk here is certainly not the worst thing in the world, because on a bunt play, that's a tag situation at the plate, but with the bases loaded, it would just be a force.
Yeah, I got the lefty hitting Sogard next. And yeah, they're staying away. They're not really trying to throw a strike here. Well, from where Contreras was set up,
it's almost like Garcia wants to make them pitch to him. Well, you've got a catcher running at third, so anything hit in the air in the outfield that's catchable, they're going to have a shot on a tag. The 2-1, and Milwaukee wins it. Arcia pokes it into right as their late inning magic continues early on in the season, and they win the ball game 5-4.
Yeah, so 5 wins now for the Brewers this year, 4 of them coming in their last at bat. They went back-to-back home runs in walkout fashion the other night against St. Louis. Tonight it's Arcia providing the heroics.
So that knocks the Cubs back to a game under 500 at 3-4. Milwaukee improves to 5-3. And make sure you join us next Thursday at 12:30 for pregame coverage here on NBC Sports Chicago as the Cubs host the Pirates to wrap up a Wrigley Field 3-game series. For JD, for our entire crew here in Milwaukee, Len Casper inviting you to stay tuned for Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs postgame live coming up next. Final score once again, Milwaukee 5 and the Cubs 4.